way about me? Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed! I'm sorry. Just already accustomed to that sort of thing. Or not. In any case, well, it was that he saw on the night of the incident. Mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Luis is the witness today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. This princess seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Mr. Luis Diaxna, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You're a prosecutor, aren't you? You sure about this? If your true identity is revealed, don't worry. I made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris. It is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. Now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth, I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a bland waste of this court's time. That the prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove the case. It would seem this case is already over before it has a chance to begin. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
The prosecution stands ready. And you are? Francisca Von Karma, prosecuting prodigy. Von Karma, you say? But since you would be any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred Von Karma, legends are a thing of the past. I'm a Von Karma. That is all. What a special request I'm doing today for the purpose of prosecuting this case. You did, then? You must be quite a big shot, huh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you're imagining things, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't. But I'm sure. I told you there's no such weakling. What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, move that whip out. Hold it! I have no objections to the whip. You don't? Prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there's still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix right here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I see you brought your flair for this histrionic. Allow me to add to the things I'm not so about. People are acting bizarrely in my court. Ah! The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma. Please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible. The murder victim is the famed pixel book author, Miss Elise Dioxna. The body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene. There is no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Witness, state your name and occupation, please. Hold on here. I'm not sure not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain plague witness. Bailiff, that's a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Oh, well, I'm the head nun who has a core temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Ah! The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those of lechery in their hearts to leave this sanctuary at once. You want me to leave? I meant to get your bikini's interest. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime took place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way your little Iris could do anything like that. Let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? That night, I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and return to Hazakura Temple. No neat bath at the inner temple, you see. I needed a long, hot soak. It was after I had finished, decided I was heading back. That's when I saw it! So it was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple? Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. Sounds like a pretty important statements he just made. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first order now, are you, Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. That night, I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but Well, as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and return to Hezekiah Temple.
Objection!
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their power of observation and memory, after all. Well, don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hezekiah Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all! No!
Objection!
Said that? A defendant or witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back.
Objection!
But that is completely illogical. Murder was committed in the courtyard of Hezekiah Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. All people lie. That is my belief. Well, am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie, which means you must call your memory into question. Dear, you're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth, if you're going to question the memory of this witness, you'll need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony, and let us return to the cross-examination. Tonight, I was helping an acolyte for training in the inner temple, but as you can see, my back likes to act up violently. Iris came to the inner temple. She was just exactly as she had been at dinner.
Objection!
Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct? Of course! It is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Wait a minute.
Objection!
Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung. What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as he claims, then the Iris Seesaw should have been missing this very hood. Wow. It doesn't. Order the car. Sister. It's hood. You have spell ones around the temple, don't you? Spells? Well, you tend to make too many of them. I see. A stockpile, a surplus of hoods, Each man is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owns. And this is quite strange. there was a surplus of hers, he could have won one of those. There's no contradiction here. I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Equivalency such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt. You must give every detail with precision. I'm not so comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath on your way back to the inner temple. The seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. We just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. I finished my bath around 11, and then I should return to the inner temple. As I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look, and I was oh, Mr. Police! And if that's sort of all things, Mr. Police was staying in the corner room, which faces out into the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeoff in two in court, and me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge, his imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? I finished my bath around 11. I thought I should return to the inner temple. As I was walking back, I heard a noise in the courtyard. I took a look, and I was oh, Mr. Galeese, and if that's sort of all things. Mr. Galeese was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
Objection!
Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway. Oh, please do! My brain is something else, especially in winter. However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. That's right. It says after death right here. The scene the witness claims to have seen it is contradictory. As the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go and take a 10-foot fall? Order. The victim was killed and then fell. That is the case. The victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree? That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And she was then thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below.
Objection!
Any signs of a struggle in Miss Oxen's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a blood stain, wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? She saw blood was found in the victim's room. The whip has this caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no blood in the room, I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this. So I'm sure Your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood. When it produces the most blood, the blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade So then, let's talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body. That would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, with the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound. That's true. If the weapon's still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking. I've come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions. Order. I must admit that this is a probable version of events. Expect no less from Francisca von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please. Remain standing on the crate. Don't go selling me short now! The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially my back and my mood. Sister, please give us your testimony. I'll give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. With the whip? Oh boy. Alright. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mr. Army was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. This all conforms with Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Francisca Von Karma. I'm here to teach you just that. I looked across at the scene. The sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I've never seen so much blood before.
Hold it!
So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood? That's right. Some of it had splattered onto Iris too. The defendant was arrested. She was meditating in her room. And her blood-drenched clothing was illegally folded in a fold. What? Was her blood effect as well? It seems quite conclusive to me. Going back to your previous statement, you said that you saw a little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now, you say you saw the victim bleeding? Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw. What did you say? I didn't see the poor woman getting stabbed. I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Pulling the sword out? Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out. Witness, you will add the statement to your testimony. Oh, was that important? More important than you can imagine. I saw the instant in which the blade was smoothly drawn out.
Objection!
Sister Bikini, you're a reliable witness. At least, I like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here. What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are completely impossible. What do you mean? Please explain. Explain yourself! To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, he doesn't appear strong enough for that.
Objection!
Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble? I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weak should I so choose. The objection stands. I weep a little back there, I estimate.
Objection!
That isn't the only issue here. The sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt. Well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. That's... I shall have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop bleeding.
Objection!
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim is strapped with a serial shoulder. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly. They still sometimes stop the blood loss.
Objection!
I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction. You still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. Bravo, Miles Andrew. There isn't this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that. But what does this all mean? You have proven contradictions regarding the motor weapon, but haven't come this far. One answer. And that is... the weapon used to kill the victim was not just a showdown. What? A foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy, foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think the sword was the mortal weapon? Well, because Mr. Kami was holding it. Exactly. However, if we reflect on this, there's no basis we have to assume such a thing. Left by the scene was such too strong that it is what influenced us. The influence is to believe that Shishodo was the mortal weapon. So maybe the Shishodo was not the mortal weapon. In another case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. Sheriff Bennett stabbed the victim with a sword-like object. That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I'd like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes. Namely, where did the real mortal weapon disappear to? It goes about saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found. That answer the question, Miss Von Karma. No evidence of that kind was found. Another mystery to throw onto the pile. Miles found a mortal weapon in the Bikini. Excuse me, can I say something? I I just remembered something actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking. It's possible. Just maybe what actually happened was just over there. What exactly are you going on about, Bootia? A mortal weapon, I mean. Maybe. I might know where the stone was disposed of. You what? Well then. I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. It's impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen? I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. After asking if we reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicate the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon to even with them and came back when I was knocked out. I wish could have done that. She can ride the snowmobile after all. Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time. I'm not in the best of shape. With my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here is a photograph. Snowmobile, huh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. Tracks begin in front of Hizakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter. They can get the perfect place to dispose of the mortar weapon. Did you really go to the river to dispose of the mortar weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. I saw the mortar weapon at 11 p.m. After asking them if people put it, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicate the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusty Bridge. Less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back when I was knocked out.
Objection!
I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? What do you mean? I was left as a temper, threw the weapon into the river and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be 2 sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge and those from coming back. Ah! You're right! You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction, now doesn't it? I see. As soon as at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just to return tracks in the snow. What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? A theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks? The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible. Would you care to explain? Why there's a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction? No need. The evidence will do all that talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by snow. Also claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the country. Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime. Like I said, it was around 11. Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the witness weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report? Snow starts to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It's impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Order. Very well then. Looks like Miss Von Karma's name has been snowed in. Ah! Too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Ashford, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct? No. You got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is extra data. Ah! Forecast data? All weather reports have some inaccuracy. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m. It's true. We cannot be totally sure. What? How does he pull that off? It had stopped snowing at Hazako Temple when the murder took place. We need to provide conclusive evidence of this. This far, there's no turning back now. Very well. I, too, cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony. Ha! You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? Take that! Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right, but proving that is incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snow or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow. Just one exception, and that is the victim herself, Miss Elise Dioxna. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the mortal weapon, then in this photograph, there should be two sets of tracks. Ah! Order. There you are. Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? Simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazako Temple. From the tracks left, it understood that they would be heading to the Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow. Then this person returned to Hazako Temple. The snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks were made. Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me. does, sister. There is only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, you know that the man had. She was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. Snowmobile can't access the suspension bridge, so she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot. That sounds right. But what's odd is when I left the ice and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate, the snowmobile I mean. You know what I saw? It was covered in snow too. But that is impossible! Order in the court. What does all this mean? So then what was the snowmobile used for? It was taken by the defendant once he went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the motor weapon. If that was the case, there should be two sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. Snowmobile could cause so much trouble. I think we've learned all we can from this witness. Yes, I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything that I know. But then, it still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to have seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night? I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do. That's a shame. Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor! Actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us. Really? Of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder? I don't know for sure if he saw it or not. But there are two things about him that do come to mind. Which are, first, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder. And the second being, this individual that I'm speaking of that went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot. Mr. Edward, who's this idiot you're talking about? Take that! This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Degade's obnoxious French painting. This is Larry Butts, the type of the victim Elise Dioxner. A student? Interesting. And why was he wandering a boot outside on the night of the murder? That's... Tell me more about his designs for Iris. It may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even caught him. He is, after all, an artist who was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason. And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw? I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom. Summon this youth as a witness immediately. I have no choice, do I? I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him. Very well. Larry. You may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you. The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness. Understood, Your Honor. Good. Well then, court is now in recess.